the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, right now, obviously the number 1 overall pick in the WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever, has struggled to start her WNBA career. 17 points a game. The numbers are not terrible, but 17 points a game, 5.5 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting just 41% from the field, and the three-point percentage about 34%. I think people were sort of expecting a little bit more. Even heard LeBron say at certain points, hey, listen, man, I don't know why we're bagging on this kid. All she's trying to do is make a career for herself. And so it is kind of an interesting point. Eric, I'm going to start with you. Are people making too much right now of Caitlin Clark's early career struggle?
Oh, absolutely. They definitely are. I mean, they played against the Eastern Conference champions at Liberty, and she got thrown to the floor. And that's welcome to the WNBA moment right there. Yeah, she's going to be good. She's definitely proven in college and everything. I know that the professional game is a different speed, but she has all the tools. We've seen it before, and it takes time. And it's not just her. There's other athletes that became superstars and had slow starts. I mean, look at Giannis. Giannis wasn't even averaging no more than 10 points a game when he first came in the league. And yeah, that's the men's game and stuff, but this is still basketball here. Like I said, it's still the professional. So, I think we should cut her a little more slack. And as you mentioned, Mike, that her numbers aren't even really that bad. It's just everybody's expecting this girl to like dunk or something or put it through the roof. But, it's still a transition. We're still not even more than 5 or 10 games in, just give the girl some time, and it's a good thing. I actually really enjoy that, that these new crop of females are putting basketball on the map for the women now, so I feel like people just stop hating on her, man. Just be a little more appreciative that the women are getting their fair play.
Hey, well, listen, I think you make a great point at the end when it comes to putting the WNBA on the map, right? I mean, if you would have talked about this 2 or 3 months ago, we're not talking about this on this show, but Caitlin Clark has certainly brought some attention. Eric, I'm going to give you a good take here, brings you up to 700 points for tonight. We'll see if that is good enough to get you into the final round. And this is our final round, folks, by the way, with all 4 of our panelists tonight. So a good take there by Eric Ruiz. Danny Ullman, let's see if we can get you back in here.
I'm back.
The man is back. So, Danny, what do you make of this whole Caitlin Clark thing? She has sort of struggled, in a sense, to start her WNBA career. The numbers haven't been great, but certainly not very efficient. Do you think people are kind of taking too much out of this, or do you think that there's an actual issue here maybe with Caitlin Clark's early start?
No, I mean, she's a rookie. She's going to go through her little trials and tribulations in her first year. I mean, she's going to have to, adjust to the system, you know what I'm saying? And I think she's going to be fine. There's really no issue with her.
Yeah. No,
I think more like with her game, she really has to elevate, be really mindful and be very smart, have a real high IQ of the game, That's how I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think of virtually any rookie in almost any sport is as time goes on, you sort of adjust to the pro game. You get smarter. And I think those are obviously very good tools to have. I'm going to give Danny Ullman an okay take here. Gets him to 450 points. I think that puts Danny Ullman over the 1,000 point mark in just 2 episodes. So Danny Ullman over 1,000 points in his 8 o'clock spot career. Congratulations, my buddy.
Thank you.
As we move to Barry Grant Jr., currently with 400 points on the board. Barry, listen, we've talked about this before. Are people making too much of a big deal of maybe a bit of an underwhelming start to Caitlin Clark's WNBA career?
Well, I mean, you know what type of society that we live in, Mike. We live in a show me now society. We live in a very instant gratification type of society where they see this girl averaging 40 points a game in college and thinks that that's going to translate into the pros. When you go against kids, you can be able to be the best among children. These are grown-ass women that are trying to earn a living. They're trying to earn their spots in the league. They hear all of this hype that's going around this girl, talking about that she's the savior of the league that they've been playing in for 10, 12, 5 years. And they're like, nah, we're going to see exactly what she's about. She's getting everybody's best punch every game that she plays. It's kind of like when Lonzo Ball, obviously it's not the same thing, but remember all the hype around Lonzo. Guys were picking Lonzo Ball up 90 feet. just because of the hype that his father put around him, right? So it's the same thing, is that when you are this big star and people put this up to you and people put you on this pedestal, people are going to want to see you succeed, and many people are going to want to see you fail. And the biggest thing about her is that, look, the 6.5 turnovers are not great, right? You know, she had 10 turnovers in a game one time. The problem that I have with the WNBA and also with Clayton Clark is that she didn't have enough time. She went from playing in the tournament to getting drafted to now she's on the court. Like there needs to be a little bit more time for them to develop and kind of train and get prepared for what's going on. I think she's kind of shell-shocked. She'll learn the speed of the game. She'll understand it. And hey, it may take her a full season to get her legs. Sabrina Ionescu took a full season for her to get right, and she got hurt, right? So there's a lot of things that happen. It takes time. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions as a rookie. So these things happen. She's going to be fine. She's generating a lot of buzz. There's a lot of endorsements and a lot of eyes on the product right now, whether she succeeds or fails. So she's doing her job, but people just need to cool out and give her a little bit more time before they start to really access her game. You know what I mean?
Very, very discouraging. You know what I mean? It really, really is. Me being the host of this show, there's absolutely nothing that I can do about it as a competitor. Barry Grant, I'm going to give you a great take. 1,200 points for Barry Grant Jr. That locks him in a spot in the final round.
Oh, Mike,
no, don't you stop with the whole snap crap. I just stop it. Cut it out. But you bring up a lot of good points. And one of the things that I think that you brought up, there's actually two things that I really liked about your take, was the speed in which you play in the tournament, you get drafted, and then by the snap of your fingers, I mean, you're already on the court. And I think you're right. It is a lot of, fast pace. Everything's coming at you fast, sort of a deal for Caitlin Clark. She didn't really have an off season. Right? She didn't have a space between seasons. She's probably running maybe a bit on fumes at this point. But also another point that you brought up that I liked was it kind of seems like, especially with the WNBA itself, we always say that these top women's college players are going to come in and they are going to be the ones that light up the league immediately, right? It was the same thing with Breanna Stewart. It was the same thing with Sabrina Ionescu. It was the same thing with Brittany Griner, right? Like these perceived generational talents in women's basketball are supposed to immediately walk into the WNBA and dominate. And that just doesn't seem to be how it works. Caitlin Clark, obviously having a little bit more pedigree than I think the others, but certainly a great point right there for Barry Grant Jr. Knocks himself into a great take, puts himself in the final round. Al, the crazy Knicks fan, needing just 200 points, just an okay take to get him in to the final round. So, Al, what do you make of this whole thing? Are people taking too much out of this struggle for Caitlin Clark early on in her WNBA career?
They're making a lot of it, and to be honest with you, if it was any other player who had the statistics that she had right there, outside of maybe her inability to deal with the physicalness of the WNBA and the 26 turnovers over these first couple of games, we wouldn't be talking about it. They'd be saying she's having a great rookie season. The only player out of the rookie class that I really think has even a better shooting percentage than her right now is Brink. And she doesn't take as many shots, and she's more known for her defensive play. I actually like her a little bit better than Clark right now on how she's playing. But that's the only player out of all of them, out of the Angel Reeses, out of everybody else. And then Caitlin Clark is coming in. She's coming in with $1 million plus endorsements. Number 1 draft in the league. This messiah of the WNBA aura around her. And like Barry said, all these other women are sitting there looking at her like, who do you think you are? So from the moment that she steps on the court, she has everybody's A+++ game coming at them, and they're looking to make a point on her. That's why she's getting thrown down. That's why she's dealing with the physicality. That's why everything is so hard for her. And we also have to remember, Indiana was in a position to get her for a specific reason. They weren't as good as a lot of these other teams.
Right.
So I think give her a little bit of space, allow her to get acclimated to the WNBA, and see what she does over the course of an entire season. For us to sit there and write her off before we've even half stepped into the first part of the season is unrealistic.
Man, I will say this. I don't know that I have seen quite a more prepared 8 o'clock spot debut than what we've seen out of Al the Crazy Knicks fan. That is great takes across the board for this guy right now. 1,400 points puts him in the overall lead for tonight. He will be heading to the final round with Barry Grant Jr. You make a bunch of great points, Al. So, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to our good friends Eric Ruiz and Danny Ullman. Again, congratulations to Danny Ullman for eclipsing 1,000 points. Eric, we appreciate you as always. Any last words, fellas, before we have to say goodbye?
Be great, guys. Be great.
Go Liberty. At WNBA, baby. Go Liberty.
Be great.
Listen, we really fully appreciate these guys for coming in. Thank you to Danny Ullman. Thank you to Eric Ruiz for stopping in.